All right, let's see if we can go live. Okay. Are we live? All right, we're live. Cool beans. Okay, back again for another episode of MakeChallenge on MakeTherapy. So last time we were going over I went over a couple videos, watching some Affinity Designer. Since then, I've watched a bit more, a couple more videos, gotten a little bit more familiar with it. But I'm not sure how much Affinity Designer I'm going to be using today. I'm mostly just going to go back and kind of play around with a few more ideas before I commit to start designing some iterations on Affinity Designer. So today I'm going to, as in the description, I'm going to be doing some sketches on my iPad and then going back onto Affinity Designer if I have some time tonight and trying to do some designs there. But otherwise, I'm also going to be going online, trying to find some inspiration. So we're going to start off with that. I'm going to do some sketches, and then we're going to go over to Affinity Designer if we have the time tonight. But yeah, so that's it for the introduction. Let's go ahead and I'll just get started. Okay. So let's see. I already got a couple YouTube channels up, but let's see what we can come up with. You know what? I'm just gonna go to Google and let's see what can we come up with. Yeah, I know I'm using DuckDuckGo. I like DuckDuckGo. And sorry.
Just do it.
I'm gonna turn that down. That's
Don't let
loud.
your dreams be dreams.
Thank you, Shia LaBeouf.
Yesterday you said tomorrow, so just do it.
That's
Make
right.
your dreams come true.
I can't.
Just do it.
I can't. Okay.
Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing.
Okay, let's see what comes out with just saying make therapy. Absolutely nothing. All right. This is awful. Just awful inspiration. Okay, let's try something else. What are some words that can describe what I want therapy to be? So I kind of want to think about make therapy as being a safe space to discuss all the issues and problems around making, and kind of just discuss it, or even just share, or have people think about. If you are having trouble trying to get into making, what are the barriers for you? Obviously, some people are going to have some actual barriers, like either financial, space, technique, just being able to do things. Those are all legitimate. But I do want to figure out what to do about how to explain it. I do want make therapy to be not just about making, but I feel like I keep saying this, and it's going to be a struggle because I really want to hone in on what the mission is of make therapy, and I'm going to kind of allow it to be something that we or at least that I keep saying we, but really it's only myself. So something that I use to share how I get over, or how I get around myself to just get to the making. So not blocking myself. So not looking at the actual real world problems, and if there are some real world problems, then how do I kind of go about it, or how do I kind of at the very least remove my anxiety, or anything that I kind of tell myself from it, so that I remove some of those barriers and actually get into making. So, make therapy. So removing barriers. So like, do I want like a hammer? Like, is like knocking down walls an idea? Might be kind of dumb, but I'm just gonna write that down. I'm gonna go over to the nope, sketching. There we go. All right, so let's just write this down then. All right, so I got make therapy. So making it. So let's just put down what I already have then. So I have the open source hardware. So what I really like about that is that just the mentality of open source and having it available to all for sharing, for collaborative contribution, and the fact that it's hardware, it's something physical. So like, I'm not much of a software person, so that's why I kind of go more towards hardware or physical or something tangible. So that's why I kind of like the open source hardware and as an inspiration, as like a logo or an emblem to kind of work from. So that'll be like the first one. So I had like a brain as like representative psychology or therapy, or like trying to dissect or untangle. So dissecting, untangling, and I do apologize if I'm making any spelling mistakes. Untangling, like untangling that kind of a mess, or airing out or opening up, or opening up. What else do we have? What else do I have here? I also have it's going to be a lot of dead air, and this is kind of like, it's the kind of thing where doing this is, some people have it more methodological, or like a methodology to doing this. And it's something I would definitely have to learn as a designer. I know that there is sort of tricks or questions that people ask themselves or ask the client on what they can, so they can kind of like dissect it. But it's one of those weird things where I don't even know necessarily what make therapy is yet. And I guess I'll figure it out. But yeah, like thinking of it like a space, like, is like a safe space. So that might be something, a safe space for making. Okay, I kind of like just that as an idea. So like, how do I show that? Like, I just drew a square, and it's kind of funny because I've always enjoyed some of those logos that did have like a square in them. I don't know why. One that comes to mind right away is Open Studio. Here in Toronto, there is an artist-run center, or artist-run space, I guess, called Open Studio, and I really, really enjoy their logo. It's a square. You can look them up. So that's I guess something. So I guess like this one is an interesting one. I like that idea. It could be very minimalistic. I can see that. How do I incorporate that? That it's a sort of safe space, working space, so solid. I can play with that. So square is a nice visual thing that I can work with. I really want to incorporate the open source. So these are all kind of things. So let's keep going. Sharing is another word. All right, let's keep writing. Ooh, okay, let's clean that up a little bit. sharing. Whatever. Let's say tips and tricks. Tips and tricks. Let's remove that. Let's see what else. Well, I just had one to mind when I was erasing there. Tips and tricks. I also have I wish I could just play music, honestly. That's another thing I really need to do pretty soon, is get an account with artlist.io so we can just have some music playing in the background. So especially if I'm like kind of not talking, then at least you can listen to some music, and I can set up a couple playlists to just play in the background for a few hours. But that's neither here nor there. Sharing tips and tricks, allowing, getting out of my way. Let me see if I can select all this and make this a little bit smaller. Oh, perfect. Whoa, cool. Done, but I'm going to remove that. There we go. No, I want to scale this. Make it bigger, smaller. How do I do it again? Selection. Perfect. Do that. And how do I? Okay, no, actually, I'm gonna get demonetized if I do that. Done. How do I scale? Oh my god. Nope. None of these. Okay, let's try the lasso tool again. Lasso this. What's down here? Plus, minus. Nope. Oh, nope. Oh, that looks like a scale button. Nope. Select invert. Nope. Not what I wanted. Revert. There. I go here. Transform. That is super trippy. You know, I really wish there was just a normal scaling option here. Drag the middle to pick up a free movie, tap anywhere in the canvas to reposition and pick up. Do I need to select both? Oh, okay. So I do need to use gestures. Alright. That is fine. Done. Zoom back in. Let's keep typing. Or keep writing. Alright, getting out of my way. Let's just change the size a little bit. Okay. Next, what else do we have here? moving into making. I know it seems kind of strange to call it that, but I'm thinking like moving past our anxieties, moving into making. And okay. So like an example is just having so many desires to do too many things, and that's like my number one problem. I'd say a lot of the time is I just don't know where to start, because I want to do too many things at the same time. Like, and this channel is obvious, like it is an example of that. It is one of many things that I want to do, and I feel like I need to focus. So say learning. Woof. I need to learn how to write. Learning how to focus. So focus is a good word. Moving is a good word. Safe space is a good word. That is a good word. Moving, focus, space. I feel like open source hardware. I'm moving away from like this original idea, and I guess that's not gonna be a problem. I can either incorporate it in one of the ideas or not, and let's see if I can come up with let's say I come up with like 10 ideas today. That's what I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go for 10 sketches, and see what I can come up with, and then from the 10 I'll narrow it down to 5, and then from the 5 2, and from the 2 1, and from here I'll be sketching. We'll do 10 plus whatever, and from here I'll do affinity. Onward. Okay, that'll be our goal for today. We'll see if that even happens. Okay, learning how to focus, moving, getting out of my way. Said that. You know, I don't know. Okay, we'll put it down. Being compassionate. Nothing is a bad idea right now. Compassionate. Let's see if I can. Let's hope that's being spelled right. Let's hope. Do I? Forget it. I'm not even gonna go there. Being compassionate. Sorry, empathetic design. Empathetic design. What else we got here? Let's just keep writing stuff. Simple. Simpler. Inviting. My G's are really weird. Like, I tend to do these as G's. And although that looks like an S for some people, I know. So, inviting. Simpler. Inviting. I like simpler. Simpler is a nice word to use. Empathetic, compassionate. I feel like that kind of I want it to define my design mentality, but empathetic might be a word I want to use today. And these are all like give us a bit of an idea of the tone or the what we want to communicate with the logo, but I still need to start coming up with like visuals. And so far the only visual I have are these two. It is the open source hardware, which is there, and the brain, which is there. One thing I didn't write down is talking, since like it involves a lot of talking. Like this, damn it, sorry. Therapy involves a lot of talking, so like talking out the problems, talking out. Let's call it out. Call it that. Talking out, and so for that, I thought like speech bubble. Yeah, let's keep. There's got to be more. Something. I'm not being struck right now yet. Like fully. Like I'm kind of leaning towards these two, but I need something else to kind of keep moving. And to keep me going with this. Is there like a design pattern that I can think of that kind of implies this? I feel it's like from chaos to order, but like not really. Like I don't really want to think about it as like chaos to order kind of. Really, because I feel like that doesn't help. Like so many self-help things are, simplify, man. Don't let others get you down, or you have too much clutter in your brain, and it's almost a lot of the time I feel like I'm being talked down to, or it's condescending, and I don't want this to be condescending. I want it to be, again, a safe space. I want it to be something that allows equally both myself and anyone else who watches, or anyone else who comments or participates in any kind of way, or whatever this channel grows into, if it does, is no expectation. Dyslexia, no expectation. Expectations. I like that. No expectations. How do I design no expectations? I don't know. Initially, my first thought is like something dynamic, or like something that like jiggles a little bit, or something that like doesn't seem like it should be. So like, yeah, how do I design no expectations? That's going to be an interesting one. So I do like that. So, but I don't want chaos to order. I want, how do I think? I'm like right now I'm thinking, is repetition something that I'd want? I guess iteration. Iteration is something that I really want to push. Is like it's the practicing. Oops. Practicing. Yeah, so practicing is something, and iteration is what I want. Like these are all words that I want to do. So like these immediately tell me repetition. Repetition. Moving into progression. There needs to be some kind of like feedback. also brainstorming. Whatever. A lot of brainstorming. I love how, like, it's grown. I apologize. And this is why, like, I'm just a complete mess. And this is why I need this channel. It's like a way of allowing me to, like, untangle this. So I know a lot of channels are about what do they offer to people, and I mean, at first, like, all I can think of is how selfish I am for doing this, and I'm not doing this for other people necessarily. I'm kind of doing it for myself, but I'm also doing it for other people because I wonder if being vulnerable about the bullshit that a lot of people encounter with making, and not even the technical component of it, but just like the bullshit that they produce for themselves, you know, allowing people to, in a weird way, not embrace it, but learn their quirks to amplify how they do things, or like learn their quirks and either some aspects try to get over it, or some aspects they just accept and put into the making, incorporate into their making process, like allowing themselves that allowance to do those kind of things. That's something that's going to be, you know, a trick. It's not a I don't feel like that's a, you know, one of those like self-help stuff. It's I want to embrace a lot of the practice of therapy rather than self-help, or these like, or some of the books that are out that kind of is a quick trick, or, you know, not a tell-all, but like a just like reveals to you a secret, a hack. I fucking hate hacks. Like, don't tell me something is a hack. Shit is messy. It's a black box. Okay. Shit is messy. There's so many little black boxes in our lives that we're trying to unpack and see, this is cool. Trying to unpack, and, you know, a hack is cool as a technique, but it's not a solution, you know? Hacks are techniques, you know? But solutions. All right. Whoop. Let's keep going over here. This side. Yeah, so I don't have solutions for other people. I don't even have solutions for myself. I have coping mechanisms. I don't know if that's how you spell coping. So, like, I have coping mechanisms to kind of, you know, notice patterns. And try to break patterns. Okay. I like that as a visual too. Ugh, can I not spell patterns? There we go. that's going to be interesting. How do I communicate a safe space? So like something that's enclosed. Like I think immediately of safe space and like an enclosed space, a bit like Baroque painting, where something that I found really like a little tidbit about art history. A lot of why in Baroque there was a lot of nudes was to demonstrate that the body was whole, because you could see their skin and it wasn't covered up by clothing or anything like that. You could tell then, oh, this person was whole or wasn't missing a part or didn't have any scarring or wasn't hurt or damaged, or like they were a full person. So that's kind of a boundary, like a perimeter, or an enclosure, an encapsulation of that person. So you know it communicated safety, it communicated health, it communicated being alive, it communicated not being open, like cut open, not being wounded, not being unhealthy, not being in danger, dying or whatever. So those kinds of ideas. So I think of like immediately I think of back to the box and I think of closing it. So making sure that it's closed. But we also communicate like think outside the box. I hate that analogy, but I also don't want to. I also both don't want to play into it, but also don't want to have any kind of logo be confused due to that saying. So I think I gotta kind of work my way around that. And how do I communicate simply with, like, let's say a box? How do I do that? So break patterns. So back to this. So breaking patterns. What's another thing? So a bit to go back, like I'm being selfish, but I also want to be like I'm not. Am I like I feel like am I selfish enough now that I can do this comfortably? Like I'm not a big fan and kind of am repulsed a little bit by the idea of look at me kind of. I don't want this to be a pure like look at me kind of situation. I'd rather it be a hey, look, you're not the only one with this kind of thing. So there's a fine line between that, and I also don't want to offer advice. So like that's the thing. I feel like a lot of people. Hold on, you know what? I'm assuming too much. I know I'm assuming. So, but these are my assumptions. My assumptions are that some people don't want to want something less complicated. They want tricks. They want assistance to untangle things, and that's why people like look to YouTube for hacks or for lessons or for tutorials or someone that's kind of like broken down a process or broken down how to do something. And I just feel like I don't have the authority to do that kind of stuff. Like, I also don't have the authority to think of myself as a therapist. Like, that's not what this is about. I am considering myself a patient, and this can be like group therapy. But I mean, like, for it to be group therapy, this is where I have to watch out. So, for it to be group therapy, there has to be a therapist involved. So, there isn't. And I can't think of myself as that. So, it's not group therapy. It's a. Oops. Between friends? So me getting to this point of making videos, which I've wanted to do, but always felt really weird about it. Is it indicative of me being more selfish? Probably. Is it indicative of me wanting to, like, getting over a fear of being looked at and allowing people to judge? No, not the judge. Being okay with the idea that people will judge, but with the ultimate desire to give someone a chance to feel like they're not alone about it. And if they see a tidbit of advice or help or even a discussion, like, it's about process. But it's like psychological process, like getting around things. Like, that's where, like, some of these videos will be like, I'll be making things and I'll be talking about the things that I'm making, but at the same time I'm also going to interject about a certain topic that I'm, like, I don't want it to be like superimposed on top of the project that I'm making. Ideally it will be a topic that kind of blends in with the making, like, or just blend, or like is tangent, or like in parallel to what I'm making. So it could be something that I'm experiencing at the time, or just before, or during, or whatever, while I'm making it. So, like, whether it be, being overwhelmed with choices, and how do I try to, like, avoid that, or, not feeling like I can do something, like being overwhelmed by a feeling of, impending failure, being overwhelmed by the process. Like, how am I going to get to the final stage? I don't even know what it looks like. Allowing, balancing an idea of, prototype and finished product. Where does that balance come, and what am I allowing myself to do, and being okay with that, and or, just sometimes training, it's going to be like an intent, like a workout, where, like, that's what I'd like some of these videos for, especially for MakeChallenge, to get to is, I have an hour and a half or 2 hours. I have this goal in mind. Go. And I have to try to get to that point as quick as I can and challenge myself. Whatever the outcome is, whether I succeed or fail, doesn't matter. It is that practice. It's like working out. Like, you constantly want to push yourself in a workout. Not to the point of exhaustion and, like, harming yourself or hurting yourself, but just before that, like, not just before that, but like, well, before that. But you want to push your limit a little bit more, and with every time you keep, either, or maintain your limit, like, keep maintaining that limit, because then that limit becomes easier to get to. And that's kind of what I want to do. And it's like, it's the process that I also want to expose. So, like, I don't want to just give you a demonstration of how I made something. I want to talk about how I came to those conclusions. What's the process? What's the problem solving that I had to do to get there? And it could be very well like, I thought about this, and this is where I started. And then I noticed, oh, I need to get these measurements, for example. And so I'll communicate, like, well, if you want to do this yourself, you're going to have to find the relationship between this and this. That's something else. Finding the relationships. Finding, okay. I'm already feeling a lot better with some of these ideas. And so I kind of want to, excuse me, I kind of want to see. Do I want to try a little bit more? I'll do just another. Where am I at so far with this stream? How long has it been? It's been a lot of. All right, 40 minutes. Okay, 5 more minutes of ideas. Yeah, you can tell I've been looking at iPhones. I'm thinking of getting another iPhone, but maybe not. So finding the relationships. And yeah, so if someone comes and watches, who are they and what stage, like what frame of mind are they coming into watching these videos? I feel like I was at a point where I would watch making videos, like, or people making things, and part of it was I'm trying to get inspiration. Part of it is research. Part of it is can I find a project that is kind of simple enough to get going on and not feel overwhelmed with, a project that like I could access or get into real quickly and complete it and see a result. So like seeing results is important. Like it helps gratify, it helps reward, and you need that. Like, and then part of it was also I had this like, it's not quite jealousy. It's almost like jealousy, but it's also just like this feeling of I'm worthless. Like I'm not doing what they're doing. All I'm doing is watching what they're doing. And that bothered me to like at some point. It's like I felt like I was abusing myself by watching those videos because I'm pathetic and I'm watching that and I'm not making it myself when I could very well be. Like, I'm wasting my time watching something. So that's kind of like a frame of mind of like potentially someone that could be watching, and like that's the kind of shit that you're thinking. And I don't want that. I want them to, you know, I want to commit, YouTube channel suicide and say, get like have people watch and then people stop watching. And like that completely goes against the algorithm, but I don't give a shit. Like it's not what I want. And like, yeah, you might say, well, that's counterintuitive because you want to make sure that your channel grows and like reaches more people. How is it going to help someone if it doesn't reach more people? I think that the algorithm is probably more complicated than that. And I feel like if it's not right now, it might be in the future. Because, like, I've seen too many videos of people being like, I've hacked the algorithm and how to do it and what you need to do to, like, gain millions of views and followers and that kind of stuff. And, like, sure, I'll give it a shot. Like, I'm going to try that and see what happens. But I don't think that's going to work. Like, it's kind of like getting richer. There's a reason why people that are rich can get richer really quickly because they have more capital to put into it. People who have already seen growth on their YouTube channel because of the content they produce, that's quality that people want to see. They're going to keep growing because they already have a capital. They have like viewership capital, and they're gonna grow even faster. It's exponential. It's like it's like a black hole. Like you have a concentration of gravity, and yeah, people are going to gravitate towards it. The more mass something has, the more it's going to gravitate towards it. So like really it's physics. That's what these algorithms are trying to reproduce. But I kind of want to think of it as I don't care to play that game. And is there a potential for that game to be subverted? And and be more genuine, and just allow people to feel like, oh, I'm gonna go fuck off now. Like, I'm gonna go actually make something now. But like at the same time, I don't want it to be a self-help thing either. So it's going to be a fine balance. Like, it's going to be a very difficult line not to tread, like a very difficult line to tread, and I don't know how I'm going to do it necessarily, but you know, I kind of want to, if I'm going to put what I just said earlier, it's also reveal, oh Jesus, revealing. Oh, that's definitely not revealing. How do you spell hold on. I think I have it. Wait, let me see. Is it? I swear, if I'm not right, this is gonna look bad. I don't care. Revealing. I'm right. Woo! All right. I swear I can speak English and I can write. And then I finished university. All right, revealing. Let me just clean up that NG for you. All right. So revealing my problem solving. Because I don't want to give out answers. I want people to still figure it out on their own, because that's far more rewarding. You're going to be able to do something so much cooler than just copying something. And sometimes you need to just copy something, and that's totally fine. And there are plenty of makers out there that, you know, if I'm their first stop and afterwards they're motivated, they're ready to go, and they've at least momentarily or temporarily gotten over some of their hurdles, and they need instruction on how to do something. There's plenty of those videos out there. Maybe my channel is going to be one of those channels at some point. But again, I don't feel like I have the authority to do that. I don't feel like I know enough. And I know some people are going to be like, no, you can make quite a bit of cool things, and I'll share what I've been making at some point, especially when I show you some videos of like being at my studio and that kind of stuff. But like I'm always going to feel like an imposter. Like, that's just the way that it's going to be. I'm always going to feel like I am not I don't know. Yeah, that I'm not an authority on something, that I'm not good enough to teach it, but I do enjoy teaching. I do enjoy sharing technical aspects of it. I do enjoy explaining, why you do something, so that people can then figure out, is that the tool or is that the technique that I need to be using later on? Because they can come to another problem and go, oh, I know this technique, but I know why I would be using that, and maybe I can apply it to this because it's, quite literally the same problem. Or maybe I can't use it, or maybe I can use it in a weird way, where, kind of like going back to the actual sort of definition of hacking is, subverting a system and implementing it, or manipulating it to your advantage. And that is actually proper hack to things. That's the kind of stuff that I like, It's not teaching people literally how to do A, B, and C, but what is the problem solving you have to go through to be able to determine your own A, B, and C, or D, E, and F, in your steps that you need to get done. So the revealing of the problem solving. So revealing the problem solving, or the revealing, is going to be something that I want to kind of play on. All right, I think I'm at a good point. I think I need to stop with the sort of discussion here. I've gone 5 minutes over what I was talking about. So let's see. Okay, let's get into sketching, but I'm gonna see how can I keep these. Let's see about that. Can I? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Does this work? Yay! Okay, it works. Alright. Oh, this is so bad. Alright. Done. Let's put that in there. That is our little list. I'm going to just close that up. Okay, I'm going to try to recapture a couple things that I highlighted here that I want to look at. So okay, open source hardware is one. Brain. And these are just words or visuals that I want to do. Safe space. Square. Sorry for the bouncing around, I apologize. Square. Moving. Empathy. Simpler. No expectation. Iteration. Practicing. Kind of like the idea of brainstorming, but maybe not. Breaking patterns. Process. Revealing my problem solving. Okay. All right, so we got a short list of words that I kind of want to look at and see, are there any kind of visuals that come about when I look these words up? I know it's going to be stupid, and already I'm kind of thinking in terms of lines. I'm thinking in terms of motion, of repetition. So I'm thinking of visual terms right now, what it can kind of look like. And I almost I'm in my, one idea. I'll write it down later on, but like, is just like a tumbling square sort of. Um, is that something in? But I also kind of want to like have it, centered or stable in some kind of way. Another idea that I can play with. So there's a lot of ideas right now that I can play with, but I kind of want to get some. I'm thinking conceptual, so I want to see, is anyone else thinking something similar to that when looking at these words, and are they able to visualize it or communicate it in a different way through visual communication? So let's give that a shot. So I'm going to go over back onto the browser and let's look up some things. What do we got here? All right, so let's start off with the first word that I was saying. Open source hardware, we have brain, we have safe space. Safe space. What does a safe space look like? Okay, cool. So there's inclusivity, so a lot of pride, safe spaces, and that's what I really. Okay, queer safe spaces. I'm liking this. So rainbow is a big one. I feel like the communication of rainbow, as far as being like a safe space for queer identity, I think is fabulous, but not what I want. It's not the specific of what I want. So, and I don't want to be appropriating a rainbow either. So multicolored, like a rainbow is not something I want to be appropriating. Safe, inclusive spaces. Yeah. All right. Let's see if there's, and I mean, like, this is also going to be trending for within Google search, so LGBTQ. But like, let's keep going. Let's see if there's anything else that can be. Okay. It kind of is enclosed. I'm okay with that. So safe space. I like it how it kind of like closes up on itself, so it has like a little bit of a wrapping feeling to it. So I'm gonna hang on to that. Open up a new tab. Yeah. All right. Not a safe space. Yeah, that chicken's screwed. Mental health space, like nothing about that communicates safe space to me. It's just the words, the fact. Safe space. Safe space? Like, do they mean like a safe as in like a vault kind of safe space? All right. Safe space. Three-dimensional works. I don't know what that communicates. Okay, so safe space again. So closed up, but it's not really. It has a lot of motion, and it has a lot of. But I'm also not a big fan of the swoosh right now. I'm not right now, but like not a big fan of the swoosh. It doesn't feel closed enough. Yeah, see, safe space. So the square comes back, safe space, square comes back. All right, glad I'm seeing some people with that too. Safe space, I got a word play on there, but I don't really want to just call it a word. So safety, security. Okay, so people are looking at it like safe spaces and hands, like opening up. I do like, that's beautiful. I like the LGBTQ safe space, so coming out of their heads, it's lovely. I know it's like this one here with the, I don't even know if you can you see my cursor? I don't think you can. So I apologize. I am pointing at certain things, but I'll describe it a bit more. So the one right now on the right here with the large pink mouth talking to people, I feel like, yeah, it's communicating, talking, and trigger warnings, safe spaces, but it also kind of feels very, it's like, it's loud. It could be an environment where you do need to be louder, you need to speak up, and have your voice be heard and challenge a majority mindset and work against that. But it's not exactly what we're looking at. We're looking at the interpersonal. So this, the things that are kind of like the on an individual level. So psychological. So it's kind of looking at it as like a I'm not fighting a system necessarily. I'm not fighting an oppressive system. I'm trying to resolve and work through my own barrier. So yeah, it's not a systemic problem. So that's why, another reason why I like kind of appropriating or kind of playing off of it's like the LGBTQ safe spaces just feels like disingenuous. So I don't want to be doing that to a very important a very important I don't know what the word here is. It's not movement. I don't know what the word here is. I apologize. See more results. Oh, yeah, this is like difficult. This is difficult, like image. So the one right now in the center with the person sitting on this disc and having these wisps of I guess it looks like hands. I almost interpret it as like snakes and like being enclosed but not in the right way, feeling like oppressed and like being targeted and captured almost by their feelings. So I feel like maybe I need to go around. A lot of this is LGBTQ, so I think I need to try to find another interpretation of safe space. Okay, this is not bad. I mean, this is an interesting one. A larger environment, like a singular shape. So solids like this are good. I'm gonna keep this one too. Okay, I think I'm gonna go back. Dialogues. Okay, I like that. Race equality matters. Nice. Okay, so dialogues. I like that as well. Those dialogue boxes. They look at people. They look at people chatting. And stuff. I like that. Okay, yeah, let's go back. I'm gonna try to change my search here. Safe space, safe place. Okay, same. Open place. Yeah, open fields. That's what people are talking about. So, I mean, an idea here is then an open horizon. So, like, That's what's funny is, it's a constant struggle, I feel like, visually, where, sometimes there's just too much potential. You don't want that, and you do want that. And and because of that, it feels so enclosed. So how do you, go from it being this to being that? Like changing, flipping the sort of axes. I like that, actually, flipping axes. Okay, of course it's going to be a lot of geometry and stuff like that. Okay, mirroring. I think I like that. I'm going to do flipping some. I wish I had like a shape to start with, or some kind of visual to start with, and that's why a lot of people like start off with some kind of an animal and that kind of stuff. But I don't know why I didn't think of that, actually. Why don't we start off with some kind of an animal? I don't know, like, I don't know if I want to go there necessarily either, because like I don't want it to be considered like an emotional support animal, simply because like there's a lot of people that genuinely need that, like they genuinely need an emotional support animal, but I don't feel like, and the actual psychological problems that some people have, that could very well be preventing them from doing anything, let alone making, is something that I think needs to be addressed, but I'm not qualified to address that, and I don't think I want to suggest that something like the issues that some makers will feel, of like feeling inadequate, feeling overwhelmed, or feeling, XYZ, is necessarily something to equate with people who actually do have some kind of psychological trauma or some kind of neurological problem, or anything like that. So I don't want to equate anything like that either, because those are genuine issues that people who do have emotional support animals genuinely need them, and I guess I don't want to suggest that, I don't want to take away from that kind of either. So yeah, I want to stay maybe more towards the abstract, and I feel like staying towards the abstract makes more sense because it communicates more and less, and doesn't appropriate from anyone's like lived experience that is far more, not to say far more, but like anyone's lived experience that is not this, yeah, I don't quite know how to explain it. I'm going to be fumbling with my words, but just trust that I'm just trying to explain this in like an empathetic kind of way, and be understanding of other issues in the world for other people. So I want to think about this a lot, about, so coming back to this open space. So like open spaces, so like a horizon line would be something that I kind of want to do. So I'm going to hang on to this as like an idea of like a horizon line. So let's do that. You know what? Let's go thinking outside the box. I know this is going to be bad, but is there anything visual here that we can use? Like, it's just box with like lid open. Thinking outside the box. How to think creatively by applying critical thinking and literal thinking. Bruce and Walker. I wonder if that's Bruce now. Nussbaum or whatever it is. I'll hang on to that. Not. It's kind of a too simple. It's a cliche at this point. It's very not even at this point. It's just it always is just a cliche. Cute, but also cliche. So sorry. Yeah, these like also a cliche, like these visual paradoxes. I'll hang on to it. I don't know if I'm gonna get more inspired by it or not, but we'll see. I do like the hexagonal shape. I'm drawn to hexagonal and isometric layouts, so that's kind of one thing. I do enjoy those kind of designs, both as like a visual representation because it's like a simplification of our world, in that it kind of serves almost as a map as well. So allowing for three-dimensionality, which is truer than just a map. So it doesn't abstract and simplify quite as much as like a two-dimensional map, but also does simplify. Like we lose, everything becomes very orthographic. No, isometric. Isometric. When I'm trying to say orthographic, I mean like non-perspective. So it doesn't like you don't get like vanishing points and that kind of stuff, which is not is not the way we perceive things, but allows for us to communicate more things than and doesn't allow for visual abstraction. So, you know what? I'm gonna write that down. What I was, because I had horizon line earlier, and now I'm thinking vanishing points. Wow, can I not spell vanishing points? All right. So, what do I want? Do I want to keep vanishing points, or do I not? Like, do I want to be isometric, or do I not? So, or not. Isometric or not. So, is there a potential for something like that, for some of those shapes? There was this one box I saw here. I kind of liked. Where is it? This one right here. It's just flat panel shapes. I'm gonna hang on to that, just because I can't. That hurts. Ugh. I'm not good. I gotta get away from that one. Yeah, let's see. What else do we have here? Okay, so contiguous error, like contiguous line going through it and kind of getting to an idea. Cute. Thinking outside the box to like, yeah. Yeah, we get it. It's like saying, it's literally like saying, don't think of a pink elephant or a purple elephant or whatever, and people are going to think about a purple elephant. But salute. Sorry, I guess it's like the opposite of it. Like, easier said than done. Like, think outside the box. Yeah, there's a reason why I haven't been able to do that. Like, I just can't right now, and I have to exercise and practice out of that. So, like, get off my back. So I really, like, I find those kind of, like, things condescending. Sorry, I'm getting frustrated. There you go. So a lot of it is tic-tac-toe, using like tic-tac-toe as being outside the box, think outside the box, la la la. A crown, veranda, thinking outside the box. I like the breaking open. All right, this is like a picture, like a diagram. A diagram, like an infographic maybe of how these aspects come together and how they can be separated to allow yourself to do that. So, all right, a little bit of instruction. That's a little helpful, but not what I'm thinking of. All right, one of these. Cute. I like the use of the material. Go away. It's so bad. Okay, even just having the dots, I'm okay, much more okay with that. It's much more suggestive and much less implied. So I don't know. 3 ways to think outside the box. Yeah, see also the whole freaking listicle things. I absolutely can't. A brain in a box. Oh yeah, there we go. That's my logo right there, guys. Think. Wow. Okay. So when I was saying that Open Studio has an interesting logo, it's kind of similar to this, but it's a lot less literal. Like it is almost as literal, but it's a lot less cliche. I think it borrows from a cliche, which is interesting. Borrowing from a cliche but not being cliche is a fine line to tread, but could be very easy to just jump over that line real quick. Again, these guys, what do they have? I think outside the box, innovative. All right. I do like puzzles. So this is an interesting opening of a container. Okay. Puzzle pieces are interesting. So puzzle piece is something. Let's hang on to this one. I'm okay with this. Staying connected during difficult times. Okay. I like the wave. I like the waves. I also like how they're treated. Difficult times. Nothing is harmonizing here. Everything is very dissonant with the waveforms, so I'm okay with that. Get out of here. Timing, sure. Sure. Also kind of getting think outside the box, positive concept. If they removed think outside the box, it would be a little more interesting. Visually, I like this, but I don't know about more. Lorem ipsum. Yeah, basically that is the equivalent. Thinking outside the box is the lorem ipsum of the visual world. Oh man, it's true. Very abstract. This is a very abstract imagination of, or imagining of thinking outside the box. Okay, I think removing the lines and just allowing for sort of a linear thing. I do like that. I do like that. And that allows for the three-dimensionality. It allows for, excuse me. It allows for the use of line. I don't know if we can involve text in it in terms of make therapy. Maybe not, but we'll see. Okay, I think that's where we're gonna end with thinking outside the box. So square, moving. I think moving is something we can do, sort of visually. Empathy. I want to see what visualizes empathy. Empathy. All right, so it's a lot of two people. It's okay. So there's a two-ness to empathy, an overlapping, a sameness to it. Okay. Not a word. Yeah, not exactly what I want, but I do want to kind of see that. So a two-ness, an overlapping. Okay, this is a good kind of visual description of it. Actually, I'm gonna close the other one while I have this one. Actually, let me go back. Okay. Spreading brain cells, brain folds. Yeah. Empathy. A lot of it has to do with people. So it's a humanistic thing. Hyper empathy after brain surgery. Okay, so mazes. Gotta say, interesting, but not sure if I want that. There's a connection. So connections, overlapping, Venn diagram is something that I could look at for empathy. I'm gonna put that in. Venn diagram. All right. I really like this representation of it. That's kind of nice. Empathy and artificial intelligence. So there is a seeing eye to eye and a scale. Okay. I'm not against that. I don't like the faces. Like I want to reduce like the faces. Okay, so they have squiggly moving lines. So it's a lot of things that overlap. I'm okay with that. I like the idea of overlapping. So empathy, overlapping, squiggly lines, motion, messiness, all of this can be sort of within it. So, all right. I'm understanding it. So there's like a lot of room for that kind of stuff. Okay. This is a very like stylized. Yeah, I'm not against it. I like it. I like this kind of thing. I'm gonna hang on to that. I like that kind of stylization of a head. My cat is just making out with his toy that has like some catnip in it. He's just like going hard. Ugh, yeah. See, then there's this that just like adds the eye and the ear, and it just like immediately goes a little cringy. designer, user, empathy. So this is what I believe in, but I kind of not a big fan when you like diagram it out. So, but yes, a designer has to have empathy. That's the point of designing. You have to meet here with your user, or whoever's viewing it, or whoever's using whatever thing you're designing. You have to be thinking like the user. You have to feel like the person that's using it, or the other person. You have to feel like the other person to design something. And so it comes about, a lot of it comes with, when you design for yourself, if you have the skills and the technique to do that, to make something, and you do it for yourself, then that's great. Designers and makers often make things for other people, and we have to put ourselves in their shoes, obviously, and we have to feel like them, or try to feel like them, and have empathy to be able to design something that's going to suit their needs and solve their problems, which is great. But I also kind of want to, and that's fine to sell as a service, so to speak, but I want to not be in that necessarily in that area. I'd want, like, as a channel, I want to be encouraging people to, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna stop. So I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not seeing anything here that strikes me. Oops, sorry. Cute, but not what I want. Close that. Back to there. Okay. Let's see, what else do I have here? So simpler. Let's try to see if there's anything simpler. Anything simpler that I can go with. Simpler. Okay, so simpler is like, they do it in typeface. They do it as a line. So is simpler something that I represent visually? So like by line weight, or using less line weight, or just minimizing. So again, it comes back to that feeling restricted by so much possibility, but also you don't want to be restricted with no possibilities. So that's another thing that I don't want. Yeah, I gotta figure that out. That's another one that I have to figure out. Also, it's 9 o'clock right now here in Toronto. I'm gonna try to wrap up this portion, and again, we haven't even gotten to the sketching yet, so I don't know if that ends up being then yet another video that I try to do. I am not going to be able to make a video next week at all, but I will try maybe tomorrow, but I am going to be busy, and the whole following next week is going to be impossible for me. So maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe I just start sketching something and then I show you afterwards. But I do kind of want to go into start the motions of sketching something and practicing that. But I'm also getting hungry and potentially getting tired after this. So I feel like maybe I should be really quick about the next little bit, and then just start like looking at those images again and start designing something quick and sketching it out. So data bricks, I like that. Databricks has a nice little, it's that boxy shape. It's not, it's kind of open, but it's not, I don't like the repetition, like the circular motion of it, the iteration of things. Okay, the Databricks one is, it speaks to me a bit. It speaks to me a bit. Relay modern, simpler, faster, more extensible. Okay. Getting started, relay modern. Reinvent. Sweet Lord. No more. Can we not? Can we stop with the swooshes? Can we stop, please? And then you have like example Slack. Just even that logo, I know right now it's going into the whole app, but that logo, I don't know, like to me it doesn't represent anything at all. Like you could see it as a windmill, you can see it as motion, you can see it as people come together, or like a round table or something, or like a bunch of things. So it's like, it's very abstract, and the colors kind of do communicate, bring it together. As far as my colors, I want to stick to pink and purple. Hey. So I want to stick to like the pink and purple right now. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. So I've written down more breaking patterns. Let's try breaking patterns. Let's see what comes up with that. So it's like an one little oddity, like just, a small change in something, but I don't want it to be just one small change. I want it to be like a growth, and like sort of, what is that? Veritasium did Mandelbrot set? There we go, Mandelbrot set. So is that, but there's something else within the Mandelbrot set. Veritasium. That one, yes, this equation. I enjoy that quite a bit. That's really nice. Fractals are a beautiful way of representing things. Problem solving. Let's see what problem solving comes up with. Oh boy. Okay. A lot of puzzles. Everyone seems to think of this as a puzzle, as like all the things associated with problem solving. Okay, yeah, you go in, it gets tangly, and you come out. Okay. Problem solving strategies. All right, I like that as a sort of emblem. It's not very, so it's not very puzzle-like, which is good. Let's see, what else do we have here? You are creative. Oh my, you okay over there? Oh, okay. No, not yet. Yes, please. I'll finish up soon. I love the colors, but I also really hate this. Yeah, and I know I had the brain thing too, so what can I do? Cute, but no. Let's see what escape room logos look like. All right, so everything is very much a lock and that kind of stuff. Locks, puzzles. Right. All right. Maybe not what I'm looking for. Okay, let's talk it out. What is problem solving? It's like analyzing the situation, and I don't know, I'm probably gonna say a whole bunch of stuff that's not actually true or not actually problem solving, or I'm gonna be oversimplifying or cliches. But anyway, so problem solving is like analyzing the situation, identifying certain parameters that you need to respect, that you need to play with, that you need to focus on. There's finding a solution, identifying the issue. So you identify the issue, you figure out the parameters, you play within them. Is there a way, like something about dimensionality? I think there's also something that I need to figure out about the dimensionality. That's why I like the isometric thing as well, as being something to play with. So I think, yeah. Horizon line of action, problem solving. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it up here, but I'm going to take all of these words and these the notes that we have and these websites and these images. I'm going to compile them, and so for the next video I'm actually going to be sketching them and trying to come up with solutions. So for now I'm not going to have anything. Maybe in the background I'm going to start like coming up with a bunch of ideas to kind of expedite it, the situation, but I feel like that's what we're going to do. So I'm also going to rename this video, obviously, since we haven't gotten to actually sketching anything. It was all kind of just ideation. I just want to look at these. These are nice. I don't know if I want text or not. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to hang on to that. The duotone here is really nice. Okay, I'm going to hang on to that as well. All right, so that's where I'm going to end off. Hopefully next time around I'll be moving forward with actually sketching something and coming up with some ideas. It's probably going to be well over a week and a bit until I get back to that. Yeah, it's going to be a little over, maybe even 2 weeks when I'm thinking about it. Yeah, in about 2 weeks' time, I'll probably be back to work on something. But until then, I'll probably in the background come up with some ideas, or at least organize these thoughts in a bit more so that I can like look at them and kind of build some ideas here. So that'll be it. Again, sorry, not what was promised, but that's kind of the process here, and life gets in the way too.